And welcome back to the Greater Jackson Business Beat Show. I'm Jack Criss, and we are joined by Mr. Jeff Seabold of Seabold Architectural Studios. And Jeff, of course, you've got an interesting firm, which is why we're here to talk to you. But I love the house where we're located here in Jackson, in the heart of Jackson, on President Street. Tell us about this house where your office is located.
Sure. The house where we are right now, it's an older house. It's been an architecture firm for a long time, long history. But before that, it was built in the late 30s. It was a boarding house. So lots of different rooms, lots of just kind of neat little nooks and crannies all around, and that's part of it.
As an architect, did you go through here and just make sure everything was just so?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I would have thought you would have done that. All right, let's talk about your business now. You've been an architect for how long, Jeff?
Have graduated at Mississippi State in 2002.
And you've been in Jackson for how long?
Since the early 90s. I went to Sept, graduated from there, and traveled around with my history degree from there, and then decided that I needed to go back to school and wound up in architecture school.
And you've been at this location now for how long?
Just over a year, almost a year and a half.
And your old firm is about that old as well, too? Relatively new?
Relatively new. Started in February of last year.
Why, as an architect, would you not go out and join a bigger firm or a regional firm? As I always talk about on the show, tough economy, tough economic times for all of us, whether you're in publishing or architecture. Why go out on your own, Jeff? What was the motivation?
Quite frankly, it's just that. It's economic times, and larger firms are, everybody's battening down the hatches and tightening up everything that they can, and hiring an architect and stuff is not really on a lot of people's agenda. So it was a very brave decision, but it had a little bit of work that was left on the table, and it's actually proved to be a very successful venture so far.
Then you find out you're not only an architect, you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're thrust into it, and I know you've told me, off camera, that you're working all kind of odd hours. You've got the couch over here you sleep on sometimes. You're constantly going. That's just the life we lead, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, occasional nap here and there. My wife generally lets me come home.
No, don't say that. It's not a nap. You never nap on the job.
Power nap.
What do you bring to the table? I mean, there are large firms out there, and there are a lot of independent architects as well here in town and in the state. What's different about Jeff Seabold, and is there an imprint or a signature look that your buildings have?
Well, it's funny, I never really thought of that. I've done everything from traditional design to historic preservation to very contemporary design, and have never really thought of having a particular look involved. But it seems that more and more people call and seem to say, we want to hire you. You have a good sense of modern architecture about you. Mm-hmm. You have a good sense of design and things like that. We also, the one different component that we bring to it is that we're a smaller firm, but yet we're a hands-on firm. We bring a lot of detail to the table. We spend a lot more time and care on projects. Try to spend a little bit of money up front so we don't spend a whole lot of money on the back end of projects with change orders and, oh, you didn't think about that, and those kind of things that happen in design.
Part of the job. And do you do primarily office work, residential, mixed? Tell me about the practice.
The practice it's a mixed practice. Last year it was predominantly a lot of commercial work. Did residential work for 6 solid years, all new construction and remodel, the previous firm, and worked on almost 100 projects in that time, from remodel to new construction. Now we're doing, last year was mostly commercial, this year will be mostly residential, and that's just kind of the way it works, and I'm happy to do both.
So primarily private, public, here again a mix?
Predominantly private work. I generally have not done much public work.
And is it add-ons, or with the real estate market as it is, I don't know if too many people are building right now. Do they call you to say, look, we want to do an addition, or we want to renovate or revamp? What do they call you for?
Well, it's a cliche to say no project too big or too small, but it's, it's true. I've done bathroom remodels, and I'm happy to do it. Yeah, we're doing it. We've got a new house that we're doing in Eastover now. We've got
this is it right here, I believe.
It's the early stages of it. Just one of the first kind of design sketches and studies, but we're moving forward on that project. Really excited about it. It's a kind of a green building, a LEED building, LEED house is what our goal is, and trying to be more sustainable and be more responsible with our building practices as well.
And we hear a lot about green and sustainability. What does that mean to your practice? What does it mean to you? How does that translate to the work you do?
Well, what it means to me is I've done a lot of work over the years with U.S. Green Building Council. I'm on the board of directors for our state chapter, and I've gone around promoting around the whole Southeast and taught people about green building technology and green building design practices. What it means to me is being responsible. We've been given a whole series of resources, whether it be oil, gas, electricity, or a $20 bill. It's all the same thing, it's just a different conversation. And it's being responsible with what you've been given. And typically, the last 20, 30 years, people weren't necessarily responsible with how they designed and built. They just said, this is where the house goes, this is what we're going to do, and we'll let the air conditioning solve any of the problems that are there. Yeah. We'll put in another lamp or another light in the ceiling. And sustainability is about being a better designer. What's your favorite part of the job? And since you've been out on your own now for a little over a year, what's the best part of it for Jeff Seabold? To sit back and really get to think, this is how it goes together. That's part of it. But also to be out in the field and to say, to be able to put it together. I build a lot of my own stuff, do a lot of my own things as well in my free time when I have it. And to be able to come back and know that what I'm doing is right, and to be able to draw that way and say, this is how something goes together, and to get that respect from the contractors to come back and say, well, yeah, you are right on that. That is a good way to think about it.
Well, and see, you said your free time. Jeff here is also a big community guy. He's coaching me in a Fleet Feet training program for the Mississippi Blues Marathon. So if I blow it, it's Jeff's fault. We got this all on tape, Jeff.
No pressure.
But see, that's the community work you do, and I think that's kind of the modus operandi of your firm. You do things for the community. It ties in with your green philosophy, ties in with the whole philosophy of the business, it sounds like to me.
Sure.
And we appreciate that. Jeff,
thank you.
People who want to get in touch with you, if they want to take a look at the website, at your work, how do they get in touch with Jeff Seabold?
It is Seabold, SEABOLD -studio.com is our website. And our phone number is 769-216-3101.
This man did it just like a salesman. That's just like Leslie at Fleet Feet. She did it too. Look right in the camera. I'm Jack Criss. Jeff, thank you so much. Enjoyed having you on the show. And thanks so much for watching Greater Jackson Business Beat on Local 98, which comes your way every Tuesday and Thursday night at 9 o'clock. Remember, we're the only locally produced business TV show in the metro.